Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back. It's Wednesday, and I'm here with my good friend Beth English. We're gonna talk about today, the benefits of having consistency in your art. So, Beth, good to see you today. Like every Wednesday, great topic we had last week, where we talk about challenging ourselves as artists in the creative
hmm
process, and kind of way of unstucking ourselves. And today, I want to kind of talk about again studio topic to keep on that flow with consistency in your art. What are some of the benefits that we as an artist have when we create consistency? So how are you, Beth?
I'm doing well. It's beautiful here in Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm just looking forward to this conversation today because getting consistency in my work is something I've worked really hard on in my career. And so I want just would love to hear what you have to say about it.
Excellent. So let's talk about it. We're going to talk about some of the benefits, and maybe in another topic we talk about maybe different ways in which consistency can happen. But so a lot of times, that's one of the biggest questions that artists have. I just did a boot camp with a bunch of artists from around the world, and a lot of the questions that we had on the first day were like, Sergio, how about consistency? I'm not sure. I like to do a lot of things. I like to jump from thing to thing. It's hard for me to create consistency and so on. So I had to really make the case of create the ground for talking about consistency, then talk about how you can do it. So let's talk about some of the few things that I talk about why it's important to have some sense of consistency. Now that doesn't mean like if you like to do different things you are out of luck. There's different ways in which you can still keep your interest on putting your hands on various things in a way that people can still get it. So the first kind of like the first one, I think when you create consistency in your work, it's easy for people to follow and to understand and to recognize you more than anything, right? And this is something I talk about is like when somebody's on social media, we're going like this, right? This is how we consume content. And there are artists that I follow that even though that artwork passed like 10 miles an hour, I know who it is.
hmm
There's something about that artwork or that style or the way that artist uses color or the way he or she maybe presents the work on the screen that I know right away. I don't have to read the name. I don't have to read the caption. I know who that artist is. And there's value in that, right? So when you have a sense of consistency of some sort, it's for your audience, it becomes an easier process to follow and to understand it and to associate that work with you. What do you think of that one?
Oh, definitely 100%. You're right on the money. This is such an important part of being an artist is finding your voice in that way so that you can be consistent. And so for me, that really means to show up for yourself and know who you are and allow that to come out in the work. So consistency is important, but if you're just getting started, it's not going to be as consistent
Right.
as maybe if you've been doing it for 10 years. So just give yourself some grace if you're looking for that consistency in your work now, and just know that you're going to get there.
Yeah, I love it because you said it perfectly. There's a big difference. Sometimes we compare ourselves with other artists, and again, if you are an emerging artist, you're still trying to find that voice. You're trying, and the only way you find it is by trying many things. Nobody wakes up as an artist like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how it's going to look. This is, it's impossible. You get to there by trial and error, by testing and trying and working at it. So one of them, again, one of those benefits is makes it easier for people to understand, to follow you as an artist. The second one, it also for galleries, it's easier for galleries to also want to work with you to be able to sell your art or invite you to exhibitions or sort or participate in events because again, you have been creating a body of work that's consistent. I run a gallery for the last 16 years. And, that's one of the things that we look for, right? It's hard to work with an artist that today is abstract, tomorrow is landscape, and then Wednesday is portraiture. And then, how do you even talk about, that particular artist? So there's a value in, having consistency if you want to be able to work with curators, with galleries, with people in the art world.
Yes, I love that. Yes, it's just such good advice. It's makes it easy, right?
Right.
If we have a clear communication, a clear message visually through our work and through our words, our artist statements, things like that, then it's going to be a lot easier over time to be more marketable. And so I think that's why it's really important when you are looking for a gallery or looking to partner professionally with someone else that you do have a consistent body of work and voice, and know yourself so well as an artist with your mission. Like, what do you want to say in your work? And a lot of times, if we can just connect back with that mission or that how, or like that North Star of why we're creating in the first place, it really helps bring that together so that we are communicating that not only through, our social media, but, galleries will have a much easier time of being able to promote and market the work.
Absolutely. And then the third one out of the four that I want to share with you today is also when you're creating consistency in your art, it's easier to find a new audience, to bring new people in. We're talking about, when I talk about this, the first one, the difference between the first one and this one, the first one talking about the people that you already have, the people that already know you, but those who come in to your art for the very first time, they find that consistency in your art, or at least something they can connect with, then becomes easier also to build your audience. And I think that's one of the key factors why a lot of artists also sometimes have hard time in social media or getting new followers, getting new people to come in, is because there's no sense of focus, there's no sense of direction. And when somebody comes in, like they say, if they're confused, you lose, right? So you don't know why. One of the things that I ask artists a lot of times when I coach them on their Instagram, like we look at their Instagram and say, okay, if you were not you, would you follow yourself on Instagram, right? Just judging by the first 9 posts. And sometimes the answer is, well, I'm not sure, right? And again, the reason is because sometimes, we're not creating a sense of focus on this, what is it that we're doing as an artist.
I don't know what else I could say to add to that, because it's just like 100% correct. Yeah. And you are right on it. And, because you're working with so many artists and you have your finger on the pulse of what they're struggling with. And so I think that was a good point. If you're confused, you lose. Yes. And sometimes we're confused, right? We look towards other people to give us the answers. Like, so if there's something confusing or you're not feeling really clear about your work, why don't you just take a handful of your friends and just ask them a bunch of questions, try to get some feedback. That might be really helpful. And, it never hurts to ask. And especially if you can create, a safe space with people you trust, then maybe you can, learn how to navigate your way through that so that you can actually be 100% clear about what it is that you're creating and who you are as an artist.
And by the way, whatever you are doing right now in terms of consistency, doesn't mean that you have to stay there forever. Like, okay, so you just want me to do landscapes for the next 20 years. No, that's not at all what I'm trying to say. It's how you present it, what you bring to your audience, how you organize yourself so that there's a thread of connectivity and people can follow you. And so the last point, which I think is going to be one that for a lot of our friends who are right now kind of a little reluctant, well, Sergio, I like to do landscapes and I like to do abstracts and I like to do these other things, even myself as an artist, I have also, even though in my work I have certain interests, what is it that I can do? And the last benefit, the fourth benefit of working with consistency is that you can create a sense of focus in your own studio practice. This is something that I talk a lot about and allows you to, even if you're an artist who likes to delve on different things, pick something that you're going to do for a while so that you can create consistency on that small body of work and so that you can bring focus on that rather than, jumping back and forth between things. And that allows you to both have the consistency of market that, just you're marketing for that series or body of work at the same time while you may be working on something else.
I'm so glad that you brought this up, because when I was moving, there was like about 5 years ago, you know how we collect arts and crafts and this, I can use that later and this and that. Right. Well, it becomes this massive distraction away from like the work that we want to create. And so what I did is I just got rid of everything in my art studio that did not support my current body of work. And man, it freed me up just to get rid of all of that stuff. I probably gave it away to friends, but you know what I mean? Like when we can take that focus and create that and build it into our creative process, into our studio practice, then it's amazing how much easier it is to just jump into the work and get right into it. So I love that that was one of your points today.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's very cool. I love that story. Getting rid of stuff so that what you keep is what really is going to drive you ahead, That's awesome. And one of the ways in which I help artists, through this idea of, how to create something that's easy to market, that is, straight on point, is what I do every year, which is the Small Works Art Sales Challenge. And I think probably this time last year we talked about it also in this show, because I do it always at the end of the year. It works great towards the holiday season, great also to create something with focus, with sequence, and something that we use for marketing as well. Makes it super easy, makes it also a great way for new collectors to jump into your list, or new people who maybe this is the first time they purchase something because they see something that you're doing at an entry point that they can afford, and that they feel super excited. So it's a Small Works Art Sales Challenge, which, by the way, we just started this week. Monday was the week 1, and this is our very last chance to jump in. After this, you have to wait until next year. And every year, hundreds of artists do the challenge with me. Super excited. It's all about, creating consistency, creating a small body of work that we can then release later on, at the end of November, beginning of December, and, of course, create great sales for our work at the end of the year. So if you want to be part of it, you can DM me. I'll send you a link right away so you can check it out, or just go to my website, theartistnextlevel.com/small works. Super easy, small works. And of course, I'll put a link under this video somewhere. So with this, we'll wrap it up, my friends. And thank you so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with all your friends. And Beth, where can our friends find you online and on social?
You guys can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Beth English, and my website's bethenglish.com. I would love to connect with you if you're feeling stuck, or you're feeling like there's something you want to do or create or share with your purpose and your mission, your passion, your voice. I would love to help answer any questions that you have. And what about you, Sergio? Where can our friends get in touch with you?
So, friends, you can find me on Instagram at Sergio Gomez Art. That's when you can DM me, and I'll send you a direct link. Just send me the word Small Works, and I'll send you, I know what you're looking for. I'll send you a link to the Small Works Challenge. Hope to see you there, my friends. So until next week, have a great day. Bye. Bye, Ben.
Bye.